Before you tonight, we have a lot division for said property. Shelley Bennett is requesting a lot division on behalf of Indian Hills Trading Company from a 10.36 acre parcel of land legally addressed as 1810 Nursery Street, located between the corners of Powers Avenue and Southview Drive within the city of Moscow. For reference, we have Highway 95 Main Street. We have Police River Drive to the south. Nursery Street is our north-south. And then we also have the bisection of Southview Avenue to the northwest. So the applicant proposes to establish two parcels of approximately 3.26 acres and 7.10 acres from the existing 10.36 acre parcel. The subject property, again, is located within the farm, ranch, and outdoor recreation zone, where the minimum lot area is 3 acres and the minimum lot width is 80 feet. The two proposed parcels will meet all minimum lot area and lot width requirements for the FR zone. So here's the proposed divided lot. And as you can see, the mother parcel with both parcel 1, parcel 2, and included within that area is the dedicated parkland. Now, this was one of the subjects of discussion at the previous commission's meeting, and just for reference, this is a snapshot of the parcel as exists today. We're required to include that because it is part of that mother parcel. Again, and the topic of discussion is for the division of parcel 1 and parcel 1 strictly. So as you can see here, we have our local zoning on our GIS. Again, Southview and Nursery Street develops an R4 zone. All along our Highway 95 corridor is more business to the west. Our subject parcel is FR in green. Property to the south and to the east, again, is FR. And along Indian Hills Drive and Pinecone Road, we have R1. So as previously anticipated, that Powers Avenue would be extended to the northeast, to connect the future extension of Southview Avenue in order to develop a residential development. And since the current proposal does not include the extension of Powers Avenue, a cul-de-sac is required to be constructed at the terminus of Powers Avenue in order to meet city standards and International Fire Code. So again, we see Powers Avenue as this little stem here. And as you can see, this is existing lot as it stands today. And again, the anticipation previous to this land use request was for the extension of Powers Avenue. So this is a shot earlier this December of Powers Avenue standing on the corner of intersection of Powers and Nursery Street. And as you can see, there is no further development other than the fire hydrant and planter strip, sidewalks, and other utilities. So in order to accommodate the cul-de-sac, the owner will need to dedicate an additional right-of-way through a deed dedication, which would be approved by the council at a future date. Just for reference, we can see the separated parcel, and from the previous Board of Adjustments meeting, the Police Prairie School, just to show the scale of what a 96-foot cul-de-sac would look like at the end of Powers Avenue. Here's that same subject parcel as for the proposed division with the blow-up of our little detail that the applicant from the Board of Adjustment had proposed. So in accordance with City of Moscow requirements, the property owners within 600 feet of the property have been notified with the division, and the site was posted 7 days prior to the hearing. The hearing was conducted at the Public Works and Finance Commission on December 11th of this year. So for the recommendations that went before the committee members and for your ears tonight, Public Works and Finance Department recommendations, or correction, Public Works and Fire Department recommendations was that previously anticipated that Powers Avenue would be extended to the northeast to connect the future extension of Southview Avenue in order to accommodate the residential development. And since the current proposal does not include the extension of Powers Avenue, a cul-de-sac would be required to construct the terminus of Powers in order to meet the city standards and International Fire Code. So again, the public meeting was held on December 11th for the lot division. This was reviewed and recommended for approval by a Public Works and Finance Committee on December 18th, 2017. Staff's recommendation is to have the approval of the lot division request on the one condition that the owner dedicate property for and construct a 96-foot cul-de-sac to city standards at the current terminus of Powers Avenue prior to any building permits being issued upon the subject property. Any questions from council? I'd be glad to answer.
Ryan, as we get going here, even though this is not a public hearing, I'm going to ask folks if they want to speak about this, but before I do this, I wanted to say something to Jim. This was in front of Public Works and Finance on the 11th. And then I'm going to go to Walter next, but.
Yeah, we went through this in detail and what the use would be there of the proposed parcel 1, and which seems in keeping with the neighborhood. And the only public comment that we received at that time was from Mr. Michael Bradley from Pullman, who owns, I think, lot number 4 in the Indian Hills, and was looking for a chance to have some sort of an easement to access that property. And I see the owners here, and I don't know if you're aware of his.
I talked to him.
Okay.
But I can.
Shelley, we should get you up front here so we
Maybe
can
come up and tell us how you feel about that.
Shelley, just introduce yourself, Shelley, who you are. We all know you, but so the public.
Shelley Bennett, 2279 Mosier Court, and I represent Indian Hills Trading Company. And Blues Prairie School has talked to him about doing this project. We're anticipating coming back with a plat that will, 1, relocate the park, and 2, put lots that would go along it. Mr. Bradley's question was, can I gain an access off of Southview, because he has one of those drops off to nowhere lots up in Indian Hills. I can't see any reason why we couldn't work with them, especially when we're already working. There's already easements in place in that location. So, but we're anticipating that coming back with another plat that would relocate the park and put in residential lots around this. But that's not what we're talking about today.
That's right. Thank you, Shelley. Walter, you had a question.
I had a question for Ron.
Ryan? Okay. Thank you, Shelley.
Mr. Steve.
Ron, your CCSR talks about 2 parcels, one being 3.26 acres and the other 7.10. But the map you've got up there right now calls parcel 2 as being 8.84 acres.
Correct. So the 8.4 is including the current parkland dedication. So we in
Why?
that. Go ahead, sir.
Why?
Why is it including in that? Because that's the overall parcel. That's what they're putting the proposed location in order to accommodate for all of the other easements and so forth as well.
Okay, so there's no problem the fact that the CCSR names 2 parcels of specific sizes, but the map doesn't agree with it.
Maybe you can clarify that.
That's all I'm asking.
Michael's coming up here to answer that question.
He had just mislabeled on the map. So the applicant's
Good answer.
The applicant's engineer had included the parkland as part of that, but the actual legal descriptions don't have that
Should not have.
parkland included. Yeah, so we're all right with the legal descriptions.
Okay, thank you.
Art.
Could you expound a little bit more on fire access? Anytime you're dealing with a potential school off a cul-de-sac for emergency responses, is the cul-de-sac one entry into the area sufficient? And it must be in terms of the fire department.
So in order to accommodate a fire truck, International Fire Code requires them to provide a turnaround or a rolled curb for up to a 96-foot diameter cul-de-sac. And so that's part of this proposition, is to accommodate just as a minimum to accommodate for a turning radius of that size.
And then there will be further development when the building is actually constructed for appropriate access
Correct.
to and around.
And so are you if talking about in reference to the school?
Yeah.
Correct. And that was part of the Board of Adjustments application. They did provide fire access on the east and west side of the
So they looked
building.
at it. Okay.